everybody. How's everybody doing today? It's a pretty nice day out there. And in here, thank you for being here. My name is James Lippincott. I am Director of Alumni and External Relations. But more importantly, it's my honor to introduce to you your Alumni Association President, who works tirelessly for this college, and on behalf of all of you, who it has really been a privilege to work with for the last, gosh, well, I'm in my third cycle here. But Karen has been on the Alumni Board twice, in the 80s and again now, and has served as president for the last 2 years. And it's really my pleasure to introduce Karen Mulhauser, class of '65.
I just want to go on record, I asked permission if I could give him a hug. And he said yes. So, welcome to the 2019 Antioch College Alumni Association meeting. I'm going to talk for a little while. We're going to do a little bit of celebrating, and then there will be a State of the College address by President Manley. But before I get into the actual business meeting, I wonder if you could just raise your hand. How many of you are here for your first reunion? Awesome. I hope it's not your last. And I hope the next time you come, you write to all your classmates, you can find them in the directory, and have them come as well. So, how many of you, and maybe you can stand or raise your hand, are here from the 50th anniversary class? Look at you. And does somebody else want to be recognized for being special? Okay, all of the Maples people, will you please stand up and take a big bow? This is my next really big applause line, is the volunteer work project. And so, keep the applause going, they're wonderful. And they saved the college, well, because I was involved also some years, saved the college tens of thousands of dollars every year. Plus, we have so much fun. We're just being with each other, even though we're weeding and painting and cleaning and so forth. So in a little while, we're going to, well, actually, why don't we do it now? Because we're focusing on volunteer work project. There was a video that was made, and David is ready to share it with us. That was made of this year's volunteer work project. And so if we can do something with the lights, maybe we can't. Thank you, it's happening.
Exciting isn't quite the word I'd use. What would you describe it? find the word project one of your more exciting things to do this summer?
You have to delete everything that just happens. I guess you could call it that, yes.
Are you two going off to work now? It's 9:30 almost?
It's not even close to 9:30. You're such a fibber. Don't lie, Gary Vincent. Are you going back to the rest?
I'm doing great stuff with Goody. Are you taking instructions from your mother? Yes?
What are you doing today? Other than playing?
No, I'm working now. Thank you. And then we decided, well, really, we should go Shanghai, and take him around to some of the work sites.
That's a very good idea.
And
And let him come up with his own friggin' words. He's very good at wordsmiths.
yes, and he's going to make poetry out of it.
Yeah.
So, do you have a microphone in your ear? What are you listening to? And do you talk back to them? Does that make you happier here on campus? Yeah. Good. Are you happy with the volunteer project people are here? Are they doing anything good today? This week? They're not right the same way.
Can you state for the record, Joshua Miller?
So tell me about what you're doing here, gentlemen.
Well, this plant is called bee-balm, and apparently it's valuable for some reason.
Yes.
Kind of a system study about libraries and what to think about when creating or remodeling or something. You're recording this, right? This is way out there.
Is this the best breakfast you've ever had?
It's absolutely
The waitress is good. She attends them.
There are no waitresses.
Well, we will have a tip jar tonight, tomorrow night, at the dinner.
No, I haven't tipped. Don't take any wooden nickels.
How are you finding the work project this week?
Very exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because everybody is so appreciative of what we're doing, and that makes it exciting.
Yes. And they certainly enjoyed your brisket the other night.
Thank you very much.
Other than I have seen the shape of the nails and they are square-headed and drawn. That's about it. Yeah.
What I was planned on, I would have been all right, but
Always stay directional on your own canoe. Are we getting what? What?
Are we getting what?
Hi, Amy. What do you have to say today?
You know what?
Couple different options.
I have to say that I did not like my name tag, and I stayed up till 1 in the morning to make this name tag.
We would all agree with you.
Thank you so much.
So now you go back and finish your lunch.
Not the lunch.
It's not a work project, it's a play project.
Sounds
It's
really
like
good.
exercising your ears so far.
Well,
I step outside and I breathe the air.
oh, I see. Vincent, Jim Spangler's here. Hi, Jim. Did you have a nice?
Turn that off.
Did you have?
Turn that off.
Did you have a nice? Are you on phone? Did you turn it off? No, I got that one. It's running off.
I just called you a slow-mo.
I got him in slow-mo. You know what screen? Spangler's here.
Turn that off.
Hi, Jim. Did you have a nice? Did you
Turn
have
that off.
Okay, the next time these stand up, volunteer work project, take a bow. So stand up and take a bow, because it was really wonderful being with you this time. And you recognize some of the stars in the film, yes? And now I'm going to move and talk a little bit about the Alumni Association and its board of directors. James did mention that I have been on the board in the past. For some of you who come for the first time, I think it took me 20 years before I came to my first reunion. Because, you know, we get on with our lives. We go to graduate school or medical school or have babies or get a job or do something else. And then at some point we reflect on, oh my gosh, how important was Antioch in my life? And we come back. And so shortly after coming back in the 80s, I'm from the class of 65. So, yes, class of 65, stand up. And so I served until I was term limited, but that also gave me an opportunity to be on the board of trustees of the university, which I've served on for a while. And it's interesting. I hope you all read to the end of your programs to get the instructions about the SOPPs. But back in the early 90s and 91, when the college passed them, I went to the university trustees and said, you know, the college has done this. The other campuses should have the same kinds of policies. And they laughed at me. They said, well, we're adults. And I got the similar reaction when I suggested that the policy that the college had, that faculty should not have consensual relations with students. They said, but we're adults. And I said, that's more a power relationship than something else. In any case, moving right along, I am a recidivist. I'm back on the board. And I actually have been on the board for a while. I came back, I was part of, my first label here is ACCC. Okay, some of you also was on that, to help bring the college back. And it's the Antioch College Continuation Corporation. And so a lot, who else is with the ACCC? Maybe that's another cabal that we could celebrate. Thank you, Kathy. There were several of us, and we had nightly phone calls on how can we get the university to either not close us or let us buy it back. And so the ACCC, you know, helped with that. But being on the alumni board has many rewards. Like coming to work project a few days before reunion is one of the rewards, and you can see why. That was fun. But also the people who get elected to the board are amazing people. They're people who have at some point in their lives recognized that Antioch College helped make them become who they are today, and they want to give back. And there are lots of ways that Antiochians can give back. We can give back by coming to work project, we can give back by getting involved in chapters in our areas or starting a chapter. And we have geographic chapters in areas where we live. We have virtual chapters where we come together because of common interests. And those who chair the chapter committee, well, is David Vincent here, and Judy Vogt, and Jesse here coming up soon. This committee could really use our energy and our time and our resources, because this is one of the best ways that we can help Antioch and be a liaison between what happens on campus and what happens where we live, or with the issues that we care about. The Alumni Board also has a reunion committee, and I'm going to ask Karen Mulhauser and everyone on the reunion committee to stand up. Because they start planning right after reunion for the next reunion, and it takes a lot, but it's mostly fun. And the reason I'm standing all the time, that doesn't mean I'm on every committee, but yes, sort of. And then there's the nominating committee, and the nominating committee has the task of both moving the process of electing new board members and electing and suggesting the awardees who get the awards throughout reunion. And so I wonder if the nominating committee could stand and be recognized. And speaking of the nominating committee, this is the moment when the current board ends and the new board begins its tenure. And so I wonder if everyone on the current board, this is exercise, just think of it as good, important exercise. If the current board members could please stand. There are some current board members who are not here, and others who are, but the current board members who are ending their terms are Rick Daly, Laura Ann Allison, Clarice Evans, Judy Vogt, Gordy Feldman, Charlotte Hollum, Craig Johnson, and Sandy McNabb. So we're losing some good energy from the current board. And I want to give a special thanks for appreciation to all of you who have served well. And you know, for anyone in this room, whether or not you were a former board member or whatever, there are ways that you can get involved in helping the board do its work. You can serve on our committees if you'd like to. If you want to be part of the fun planning of reunions, you could just let us know, for instance. And this is the moment. There was an election, and I hope all of you in this room participated in the online election to elect the new board members. And so as I call out your name, I wonder if you could stand and be recognized. First of all, there were a couple of current board members who were re-elected. Could Jones Romanis please stand? And could Jack Matthews please stand? And then there are some brand new members. Woo! And Rivka Gerwitz, class of 91. And Jessie, excuse me? She did. And maybe stay standing. Because this is a stand-up job, yes. And Jessie Herr, class of 63. Steve Lipman, class of 67. And Jackie Mayer was elected, but she couldn't be here today because she's doing something very important. Right. And April Wolford. So, my friends, it's too late. You can't withdraw your name from nomination. You have been elected. You are part of the Antioch College Alumni Board, and I look forward to working with continuing members and the brand new members. And to anyone else, seriously, there are so many ways that we can give back to Antioch, in addition to the financial ways, which is, as we all know, very important. I'd like to ask Catherine Jordan to stand again, because as an alumni board member, she agreed to take on the task of helping to find a liaison between the admissions office and the alumni who want to help. And so Catherine Jordan has done that. And is David Scott in the room? David Scott helped initially, and Tony Dosick. Is she here? Well, just all of you embarrass her and tell her she missed a chance to be acknowledged. Because Tony and David have helped with the admissions office to be a liaison with all of us who want to help. And there are some ways that it's easier for us to help than others. And so that is Tony's job. And thank you, Catherine, for getting the whole idea started. So I'm coming to the end of what I wanted to talk about. But some of you were in the room before lunch when we gave acknowledgement to the alumni who applied for Winning Victories grants. And I want to, for all of us who were there or not, to say that we are so fortunate that one of us, Matthew Morgan, for the last 2 years has given financial support so that we can recognize alumni who are on their way to winning some victory for humanity. Last year, it was opened up to the whole Alumni Association to submit a proposal for a grant, and we had 80 applications, 80 proposals. And some of us were on the screening and scoring teams to select some finalists. And what we did last year, and I'm sure you all remember this, we voted electronically for who would win the grants, and then the grantees came to reunion last year to be acknowledged and receive the grants. And Matthew, and it's his money, so we are very happy to do it the way he requests that we do it. And that was, he said, this year, let's have the proposals, the applications come from the younger alums, just from the class 2000 and beyond. Because this could be a way to re-engage the younger alums. Remember, I said I didn't even come back to campus for 20 years? This is a way to encourage the younger alums to come back to campus. And also that the proposals had to be their own, not just that they were working for somebody who had a nifty winning victory idea, but it was their own idea. And for those of you who were in the room, there were five finalists. One was in Israel, and he had sent a video, and the others were in the room giving their remarks about what their proposals were, and everyone in the room had an opportunity to vote. And we will announce the 2 winners who will each receive $20,000 to support their winning victory proposals. So I hope you all come to that program this evening and see who the winners are and watch them blush as they get their certificates. But seriously, I talked with people afterwards. All 5 of them were stellar. And so, you know, after you see them this evening, even if they didn't win, we can support their projects. So anyway, could the finalists, if they're in the room, please stand? Maybe they're not. Yes, they'll get a certificate, and they'll get, no. Not unless you want to write a check, Judy. That is amazing. That, did everyone hear Joan? Can you stand up and yell? Okay, what Joan says that the reason they're not in the room is that they are together collaborating and to see how they can link their projects and I guess share the money. I don't know about that. They are Antiochians, and for some of us who come to campus a few times a year, the Antiochians of today and 10 and 20 years ago are like the Antiochians of 54 years ago. That's another one of my ribbons. They didn't have a class of the 54th anniversary class, so I took the 5-year class and I made it 54. So this actually is the end of the association meeting, and it is such a privilege. It is such a privilege to be recognized. Actually, it's not the end yet, but to be able to stay connected with Antioch College in this way. The nominating committee actually had a second task, which was to collect nominations for officers for the new board. And so the current board met, or the 2018-2019 board met earlier today, and the nominating committee and the current board elected new officers, and they have asked me to serve another term. So I get to keep this for another couple of years. And they asked Jack Matthews to be the vice president. And just to show you how much he likes Antioch, he just finished law school. He has to take the bar in 12 days, and he's here. And then the secretary is Nate Bowles. Is he here? Nate? Thank you, Nate. And that ends the association meeting. The meeting isn't over here, though. I mean, there's more to go. And actually, Karen, if Karen Forsythe could come up. Some of you have heard us say this. We both live in Washington, and we share a brain and call ourselves the Karen Caucus. So Karen is going to remind us all about the directory, how you can find your classmates, and how you can make sure that you are registered yourself. And I'm going to go sit down again and turn it over to Karen. After Karen talks about the directory, we're going to have a State of the College address by President Manley.
Hi, sorry to make you sit through yet another Karen presentation. That's right. Most of the people in the room have gone on to the online alumni directory and entered your profile, updated your information, and so forth. And you can surf away and find the people who live in your city, find your classmates, find random people. However, there are a number of people, and you may have gotten a poke from me recently because I compared the list of the registrations before I left home with the list of people in the directory and said, hey, before you come to reunion, could you please go to, and I have a few cheat sheets here that I'll pass around, but go to our website and sign in. We have, at the time I looked yesterday, 1,755 alumni who have completed their own profiles. So to all of you who have done that, thank you so much. It helps us organize and it helps the advancement office find you. So thank you for everyone who is registered. Now, for those of you who haven't, please do, and if you know somebody who hasn't, poke your friends. It's really important. Half of the alumni that we have listed in the directory have no email address because the address, the information we have on them is so old that they didn't provide an address. And that means we cannot reach them through electronic means, which is one of our big ways of getting to people. About half of the old email addresses that are in the directory but have not been updated, between a third and a half of those don't work anymore. So we send out emails and sometimes they bounce back and sometimes they disappear. And that means those people we can't find and celebrate with. We have addresses, physical addresses that don't work. We have telephone numbers that don't work. So registering and updating your information in the directory is very, very important. Also, we're now going to try to make it useful. Now, it's useful to alumni who want to find their friends. It's useful to alumni who want to find out who died, because we don't have that information always at our fingertips, and we will be updating that. But it's useful to our new alums and to our students, because our alumni community have so many things that we want to offer. Support in co-op, and the chapters are doing this, so support academically, career advice, and so forth. And so what we're planning for this year is two things. One is to have all of our students admitted to the directory so they can find people. How many people remember the Moocher's Guide? Okay, we don't have that anymore, but the directory can function as a Moocher's Guide because you can find out who is in your city. And we want to set up a function, it isn't designed yet, by which alumni who wish to can offer themselves as student resources, which is something that the New York chapter is pioneering, but we want to put it on the directory. So if a student needs help with housing on co-op, or a student wants to find somebody in earth sciences who would be willing to talk about the capstone project, etc., we want to make that resource through the directory available to students. So what I ask you, if you haven't registered yet, please do. If you have any questions, please come to me. I'll be happy to try to answer them. If you have registered and you know some people who haven't yet, poke them. And we do have some cheat sheets for how you do it. Thank you.
I wanted to mention a couple of the other privileges of being on the Alumni Board. One is that I get to be on the Board of Trustees as well. And another is that I get to welcome the graduating class to the Alumni Association. So I was out here a couple of weeks ago, and you know, the Antiochians of today are like the Antiochians of yesterday and a long time ago. So that was wonderful, and to be able to see them as they come to my town. I've just had my 14th co-op student live in my house because jobs in DC don't pay. The internships don't pay much. So anyway, another honor and privilege is that I get to introduce the Antioch College president. Is Tom here? He's behind the curtain. So, the mystery man behind the curtain is about to emerge, and this is Tom Manley, who is the president of Antioch College, and I look forward to his remarks, and he's shepherding us in ways that are so important because we need to be around for a long time. So join me in welcoming President Tom Manley.